administration of Gaza to begin carrying out its duties from within the Strip. And for more details, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by Mr. Mohamed Sheta, the international media expert. Good morning, Mr. Mohamed.
A very beautiful good morning to you and to all the distinguished viewers of Nile TV International.
It's always a pleasure having you. And let's start. What are the main reasons behind the Israeli continued escalations in both Gaza and the West Bank, and the message Tel Aviv is sending by that behavior?
Well, the main reasons are, of course, the local elections in Israel, and of course, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants to stay in control and stay in power, and this is why he's trying to influence the elections by attracting and doing what his right-wing extremist voters and also Knesset members would prefer. And this is why he is always, over the past couple of months, he's been more or less jeopardizing all the recent peace efforts done by Egypt and all the other neighboring countries in order to find a solution for the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And it is very obvious that neither the Israeli government nor the the U.S. government, which is of course supporting Benjamin Netanyahu a lot, even if they sometimes fight on media until that they have disagreement. But at the end of the day, Benjamin Netanyahu wouldn't be able to do anything of that without the American support and agreement to what he's doing.
And how do you think these actions affect the outcome of the upcoming Israeli elections on October 27th?
Well, it's very difficult to say because we have seen lots of the opposition members trying to even become more radical than Benjamin Netanyahu. As well, we have seen the statement of this gentleman called Eisenknot, who has been also saying that if he comes to power, that there will never be an Israeli, a Palestinian state. So I think we are again in front of a very important election for the peace process. Hopefully that the Israeli voters are smart enough to elect some moderate politicians who can really add something to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and really reach an agreement with the Palestinians, because there's no other way than a Palestinian state solution in order to have peace in Israel and in the whole region.
Yes. And we move forward from the Egyptian Gazette. We read: Egyptian-German foreign ministers discuss expanding economic cooperation, regional tensions, and Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati and his German counterpart Johann Wedpel discussed expanding economic cooperation and diplomatic efforts to ease regional tensions during a phone call on Sunday. The foreign ministry said the talks covered the growing Egyptian-German partnership, developments in the Palestinian territories, and tensions surrounding Iran. Abdel-Ati welcomed the momentum in bilateral relations and said Egypt wants to deepen cooperation in trade, investment, energy, vocational training, labor mobility and development. And regarding Palestine, Abdel-Ati urged intensified international efforts to halt the escalation and rejected any attempts to undermine the Palestinian people's legitimate rights. He stressed the need to preserve the unity of the Palestinian territories and support and empower the Palestinian Authority to fulfill its responsibilities. And let's move us to the next question of how do you assess the momentum in the bilateral ties between Cairo and Berlin?
I think this phone call between the Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdel-Ati and the German Foreign Minister Wedpel shows the importance of the Egyptian-German relationship, not only now, but even over the past decades. And of course, Egypt and Germany, they play a very important role in the Middle East process. And above that, also, the Egyptian-German relationship has been extremely strong over the past decades. I mean, for example, we have the German reunification and the European order. We have the growth of the bilateral trade and investment. We have the German automotive industry in Egypt, for example, with the many international brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW locally assembling their cars in Egypt. We have the vocational training and the Core Mubarak model for over 40 years now. We have the Siemens and the Egyptian major infrastructure projects, which have been focused on by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi during the past couple of years. We have, of course, the development and cooperation in all the sectors, from infrastructure to renewable energy. We also have a very strong cooperation with the with Germany in the education, science, and the cultural cooperation as well. And not to forget, of course, the importance of tourism, of the German tourism industry to Egypt as well. We also have security and counterterrorism and military cooperation with Germany, and most importantly also we have the migration and the 2017 migration agreement with Germany. And last but not least, we have the strategic partnership in the energy, hydrogen, climate and future investment sector, as well as, of course, Egypt has a very important German partner in the Gaza, in the Libya and the Sudan, and also in the other regional conflicts as well.
Definitely. And from Egypt Oil and Gas, we read some economic news. Egypt ADNOC Drilling discuss expanded oil and gas drilling program. Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Karim Badawi met with Abdullah Atiyah Al-Musaibi, CEO of ADNOC Drilling, to discuss strategic partnerships and company's participation in Egypt's expanded onshore and offshore well drilling program to support higher oil and gas production. Badawi said increasing drilling activity is a key pillar of the ministry's 5-year plan to boost domestic crude oil and accelerating the development of discoveries, increasing well drilling rates and adopting advanced technologies and technical solutions. He also highlighted that ADNOC Drilling's technical and technological capabilities and advanced experience in well drilling operations, stressing the importance of leveraging its expertise to support Egypt's drilling and production plans. He also said Egypt's promising drilling and development opportunities create scope for new partnerships with international and regional drilling services companies. Al-Musaibi expressed ADNOC Drilling interest in strengthening its presence in Egypt and establishing partnerships with the Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation, EGPC, and its subsidiaries. And that brings us to our question. Could you please let us know more details about this, regarding that Egypt is embarking on an ambitious plan to be linked with energy resources in the Gulf, Jordan and Iraq on the one hand, and to energy resources in Libya. So how would that help the whole region overcome the tensions caused by the disruption in the navigation in maritime routes like the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, the most important thing was all the oil exporting and gas exporting companies are exploring now our pipelines from the east to the west, in order to avoid the problems which we have at the Hormuz Strait right now. So I think the agreement between Egypt and ADNOC to intensify and expand the oil and gas drilling program is definitely also to help Egypt and other nations to whom we will export these oil and gas products to be more independent from the shipments coming through the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, most of the oil and gas producing countries like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Qatar, and all Kuwait and all the other GCC countries, they noticed that they need another alternative to the Strait of Hormuz. And this is why I think Egypt will become a major player in this Plan B for them, because I think we will see lots of projects and pipeline projects coming straight from these countries to Egypt, and then exporting from Egypt through the Mediterranean Sea to all the other customers and countries in Europe, for example, in order to avoid the problems currently taking place in the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, of course. And from Egypt today we read, Egypt's Consul General in Los Angeles receives 48 smuggled Egyptian artifacts from the U.S. Los Angeles witnessed the formal ceremony of handing over 48 historical Egyptian artifacts to Egypt by the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, in a statement on Sunday, said that the reiteration reflects the ongoing cooperation between Egypt and the United States in recovering smuggled Egyptian antiques and safeguarding Egypt's cultural heritage. Egyptian Consul General in Los Angeles, Hussein Ali, received the return artifacts, delivered remarks expressing Egypt's deep appreciation for the repatriation of these rare and historically significant pieces to their homeland. So, how do you assess the relentless efforts exerted by the state to retrieve the stolen and smuggled artifacts?
I think the Egyptian government is doing a lot in receiving all the smuggled artifacts, not only from the USA, but also, of course, from all the other countries worldwide. And I'm really happy to finally hear some positive news from the United States, contrary to what we've been hearing over the past couple of months because of the ongoing crisis. So I'm really happy that the Egyptian Consul General in Los Angeles, His Excellency Ambassador Hussein Ali, did this agreement with the FBI. I recently met the new Egyptian ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Mohamed, and I'm really excited to hear more about their efforts in getting more artifacts from the United States, and also, of course, to improve and enhance the relationship with the United States, not only in this sector, but also in all the other economic and cultural sectors as well.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mohamed Sheta, the international media expert, for joining us. And thank you. With that, we conclude our press segment. Thank you for watching Now TV International, and have a good day.